For anyone interested in architecture, I recommend a visit to this fascinating town. Stay at the magnificent Hôtel de l'Europe with its stunning views over the canals. Take a relaxing trip in a traditional Amsterdam glass-topped boat. Soak up the atmosphere of the historic Market Square with its wonderful Dutch cheese shops and its medieval guild hall. And if you like that kind of thing, there are windmills. It's a beautiful place, a magnificent piece of urban planning and a model of ecological sustainability. So why is it that as soon as I got here, I started to feel uneasy, even nauseous?
The reason I'm feeling a little bit strange is that, despite appearances, I'm not in fact in the Netherlands. I'm in Japan, just near the southern city of Nagasaki.
This is Huis ten Bosch, an entire fake Dutch town, which allows the Japanese to experience the charms of the pre-20th century Netherlands without any of the inconvenience of actually having to go there. It's a meticulous recreation. The very wood and bricks have been imported from Holland. But the place is all the eerier for its historical exactitude. The lesson of this strange Japanese town is that a good building needs to be more than just structurally sound. Its appearance must also in some way cohere with both its place and its time.
Huis ten Bosch Dutch village may be an extreme example of pastiche architecture, but here in Great Notley village you get some of the same eerie, unnerving quality. The buildings may be more recognisably in the right country, but they're certainly not of the right era. Which begs the question, why are we so interested in building in the styles of a pre-industrial age?
In the grounds of the Palace of Versailles stands a strange little village called the Queen's Hamlet, built in 1776 under the direction of Marie Antoinette, Queen of France. Worn down by the formality and grandeur of life at Versailles, Marie Antoinette used to escape here to watch cows being milked and to perform in little plays about the lives of milkmaids and peasants. It's another eerie place, a fantasy stage set for a woman who clearly didn't have the faintest idea of what peasant life was actually like. And yet it's the forerunner of every neo-vernacular housing estate in the Western world.
Marie Antoinette's reasons for liking this kind of peasant architecture are simple enough to read. Basically, she'd had enough of luxurious palace life, of mirrors, gold, marble and long state dinners, and she was looking to rustic architecture to help her to rebalance her character, to put her in touch with sides of her personality she was afraid of losing touch with. And in a way, nowadays in the modern Western world, we've all followed in the footsteps of Marie Antoinette. The general trend towards the rustic, towards a kind of fake country living, reflects the fact that we are in fact very far away from this kind of country life. We're looking to rustic architecture precisely because we're so very unrustic in our souls.
One can sympathise with Marie Antoinette's problems with the Palace of Versailles. It is oppressively ornate and formal. A few hours there does make you long for something simpler. And yet, wandering around the Queen's Hamlet today, you sense that it's not Marie Antoinette's complaints with the world around her that were misguided. It's how she responded to them. The problem is that she fell for a delusion. It's not just that most peasants lived in grinding misery and often longed to escape their scenic villages. It's that rather than grappling with reality, rather than trying to reform French upper-class life to make it less decadent and ornate, she fled from it. Rather than trying to make the real world properly habitable, she ran away to a make-believe home, while the reality just got worse and worse, till a revolutionary mob came to bash down the gilded doors of Versailles and dragged her off to the guillotine. we seem in danger of responding to many of the problems of modern reality with the same lack of sophistication and courage as Marie Antoinette. The danger in our reality comes from a very different direction. Our world seems too brutal, too technological, too industrial. We see an ugly landscape taking shape of trading estates, factories and shopping malls, and the prospect frightens us.
In the early 20th century, a German philosopher and art historian by the name of Wilhelm Worringer came up with a fascinating thesis for why it is that certain societies and individuals will fall in love with certain kinds of architecture. His premise was that we fall in love in architecture with what we don't have enough of in ourselves. So the rustic style, infused as it is with the qualities of quaintness and simplicity, will appeal chiefly to societies where progress has been too fast, where there's an atmosphere of moral and spiritual confusion, and so a hungering for old certainties. Against such a turbulent background, inhabitants will experience what Worringer termed an immense longing for tranquility, and so will turn to country cottages to regain a peace of mind.